And we're back now, finally out of Japan, which really it seemed like it took a lot longer than it did. Now we can move on to bigger and better things, I guess, out there. And of course, nothing says bigger and better like a cramped crew room on an aircraft carrier, right? Oh yeah. So we're just gonna learn a bit more about Midas and everything like that. Yeah, so it's some kind of big ol' explosive device, as as of course you'd expect, probably. Yeah, pretty much what he said. And they were trying to recreate something, or recreate Midas, rather. Now, I'm not a science nut by any means, so I have no idea if any of the stuff they're talking about is even like physically possible. And I know it's like screw science, but because video games, but I mean, I'm sure there's like someone out there is like, oh no, that would never work out, or oh yeah, that could totally happen. But I mean, there's a reason it's called science fiction, right? So Emma's saying that her goal is to shut down production of Midas so that it doesn't get out of hand, and that pretty much there's not some sort of giant war going on with everyone just using it to wipe out each other one after another. I guess you could. No, I was going to make an example, but I realized it's not the best one. And Kazuki's like, look, because of that shit, my sister's missing, so what the fuck? And Raigo just being all upbeat more than anything. So Dennis is saying, hey, we know where it went. And this will get into some more stuff I'll be able to talk about later. Oh, and these guys are Purple Haze. And of course, they're like the special forces. They're like the people that go in and do all the tough stuff. Yeah, so pretty much it's saying, hey, that helicopter took away the original Midas after the fake one blew up. And they're saying after that they don't have a clue. As as Joe literally just said. Here I am just repeating stuff ad nauseum. So they're talking about the OCU, and essentially that's it's sort of like the Oceania Union, if you want to look at it that way. I'm not 100% sure if that's what it stands for. Um, I know I did at one point, but it's been a while since I looked it up. And it's It's made up of, in this case, of Japan, of the Philippines, of Australia, of I believe New Zealand, and there's a couple of other smaller things in there. It does show up on the. You'll get a link to their website later in the game, and it does show up on that if you want to look into that sort of thing. Yeah, so they're saying it left the country. So right now we're just going to Australia. And I'm just going to take this time to talk to everyone, just because that's a habit of mine. Yeah, and the operator gives you a link to the website. And I'm just going to take this time to check the network, just to make sure that, I'm all equipped and everything. I should have left it equipped from the last battle, but since it's been a few days, I do want to make sure. Yeah, this is just you get emails every now and then throughout the plot, just from other people that give a bunch of backstory and stuff like that. Kyoik is he's the guy who's at where you were testing the monsters at the very beginning. And then you get to respawn to different people throughout it. Sometimes you'll get the chance to respawn in a bunch of different ways. And depending on how you respond, you'll either sort of continue down a chain of emails which will give you information or web links or sometimes items, depending. No, I forgot to check upgrades. But I think we should still be good for those. The only one I'd need to worry about would be Dennis. Okay, so I think we're good to go here. Now it's always good to check over these things. You don't want to be stuck just realizing, oh shit, I have a part that I didn't upgrade at all and now it's got no health, or now I can't aim with it, or anything like that later in the game. Like, it takes literally like 1 or 2 minutes to check, and that's not worth like losing an entire battle over. And Radigo just opens his mouth when he really, really shouldn't have. And Joe's just going on teasing him. Yeah, we're just talking a little with Purple Haze, learning a bit more about them. Well, not really, but I went to the wrong room. So I like to think that since the OCU is one big sort of thing, that's a reason why. And you'll notice this as you go through it, and I'll talk about it later on too. But they all tend to use similar wanzers and equipment and stuff. So really, we're just looking for a lab right now. Saying that if Midas isn't there, there'll at least be a bunch of information about it. Yeah. Well, saying Kazuki gets too excited easily is like, well, it's like saying knives are sharp. It's like, really? Whereas, and there he goes off again. It's not a damn Kazuki moment without it. And we got a little bit of a roadblock. This is actually your first mission with the whole party. Which is nice. That vehicle actually comes in. It's pretty important in this mission. Yeah, even before they say, even without them saying that. So the order you pick people in here will be the order that it'll be like the turn order. It'll also sometimes be the order in which the computer will target them. Now I always sort of have a similar layout to when I'm going. Now that truck is going to go straight for the. It's going to go straight for the end of the map. And what you really should be doing is you should try to loop around it to cut it off. If you can. Oh, thank you. Okay, I've been trying to learn that for a while. And now that I have, I can switch the legs back out. So I'm probably going to be, what was I going to say? I'm probably going to be using the missile item in her backpack if I can at this point. Just for the sake of trying to take down that truck as quickly as possible. Now it's worth noting you'll have to blow up both parts of it in order to get it to stop moving. I remember when I was playing, I thought that you had to just destroy one of them and it would stop, because I thought, oh well, if you blow up both parts then whatever's inside will be lost, but that's not how it works, thankfully. And the sniper rifle has a range of 6, so it's 2 more than a machine gun. And you can kind of think of it as like a sniper rifle type weapon. Or not sniper rifle, a missile. Just in a straight line. At least that's what I do. AP minus 30 really is really useful. I'm just getting no Oh, peaceful. The Vex and the Great Bones are well, at least for that skill. Some of the other stuff it has isn't the best, but Zoom 2 is a skill you want a lot. Yeah, and now when it starts running, that's when you pretty much have to focus everything on it. because if that gets away, then you're, I wouldn't say you're in a worse spot for it, but it puts you back a good bit. Like, it makes a lot of things take a lot longer. Well, that's the main. That takes care of the main part that has the weapons. Oh, that was actually really dumb. I don't know why it did that. It pretty much just won the mission for me. So hey, thank you. Now, stun is a pretty shitty thing to have, I will say. I'm going to take this moment. Go after this guy here. That wasn't what I wanted, but okay. And I know he has moved into counterattack range, but he would have counterattacked regardless of what I did. Oh, beautiful. Always use your shield if you can. Even if your arm takes a little bit of damage, it's better than everything else getting hurt. No, I was going to refill her missiles, but now I don't know. I might just have her go punch it. Ah, beautiful. The fast attack is, like it says, it's something that lets you shoot first, then makes it so the enemy can't shoot you back. Which is actually really, really useful. Bad thing about rifles is they miss half the time. Certainly without upgrades. Now this actually isn't as bad as it looks. because I can just go up, knock this guy's weapon armor out. Which means I don't have to worry about him. Then have Ryogo come up and weaken this guy. Making it so he doesn't have enough AP to counterattack. Go up, blow up his other weapon arm. And now we're good to go. Just that easy. Nothing to it. There really actually isn't much to say here right now, other than I'm just sort of waiting this out. Oh, it's funny because I actually remember this battle being harder than it seems to be. Zoom 2 will really help you when fighting things like helicopters or stuff with high evasion. It'll also help a lot early in the game when you don't really have the upgrades to make it so you can shoot better. So that worked out well. And I'm just going to sell this for the money. Already got 2 of them, don't need another. Now we're gonna take a look at what's inside. So and we find out he's carrying a bunch of scientists. And I always thought Dennis was being a bit of a dick there. Just a bit more than he needed to be. So first things first, I'm gonna switch up his legs back. I know it's not really. I know it's like, well, she moves less now and it has less HP, but it's good for something later on, and the skill it has is actually the skill the legs have rather is pretty useful later on. Well, it's actually useful in general. Yeah, I'm just going to save after that. Nothing too over the top. So it'll probably be a pretty plot heavy episode, I'm thinking. So the scientists are all sort of being like, oh my god, what's going on, except for the one guy. Well, the one guy who totally doesn't look little. I always thought that face portrait was a little crazy, or creepy. Yeah, she's like, hey, I'm just doing my research, I don't give a fuck, whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, so they head into Sumatra. Because some military transport crashed down. So Kasu's like, hey, you can't just leave out the one part we needed to know more than anything. So essentially what happened is there's a bunch of there are a bunch of things that were planes that have been shot down over Sumatra lately, and last one that got shot down was carrying a weapon, so they're thinking, hey, could that be Midas? At least that was always, I'm pretty sure that was the implication. So I'm saying they should go make sure to confirm at least the information about the accident is accurate. And Dennis is saying, hey, we need to be a little more discreet about things now. So they're moving to a sub, essentially. Well, not essentially, literally. That's just what it fucking said. So the aircraft carrier also said that there was a crash going on near turn bits. Or Terran Bay, probably. Now this battle actually introduces you to something else entirely. On top of, from what I remember, actually being kinda difficult. I just loved how the trees look. It's like you can count the pixels on it. So let me say enemy missiles will always suck. So essentially, they're guerrillas fighting against the OCU. Now, what this introduces you to is a little something called NPCs. And it's good in the sense that, hey, you get allies who will help you out in battle, but the bad thing is sometimes they're not the smartest. I found especially in this battle they will run right up to the melee Wanzers and try to shoot them from a point-blank range, which never really seems to work out. Another thing that makes this more difficult is that you start off pretty far from your allies, and I'm not entirely sure if the game changes a bit after if they all die. I've always managed to keep at least one alive. But hopefully them dying isn't something I have to worry about. Ah, shit. Okay, that was my bad, actually. Because see, I thought I was using Dennis there. Another thing about the rebels is they won't take advantage of firing from out of counterattack range. I've actually never had the rebels get ejected before, so that wasn't something I knew could happen. Yeah, this ain't going well. This is usually what winds up happening. They usually wind up in a lot of trouble, and there's not much you can really do about it. There are some battles where NPCs are easy to save, others where they're just not at all. This is not one of the easy ones. Not by any means. I don't think I've ever had it so that they all survive. And I don't think this will be one of those times either. So essentially what I'm doing is trying to clear a path so I can get in. I thought I could pick up the tree if I shot, but And he just killed himself. Or not, but see, I don't get why they would directly go into a group of enemies without numbers replacing. Now, normally I try to. Normally I manage to save at least Tata. Looks like we're kind of out of luck this time. Which sort of sucks. That'll actually make this a bit of a new experience for me too. So now this becomes a really hard battle, more so than usual. Yeah, nothing I can really do with that. Man. If he just shot from out of, like, if they had just shot from more out of their range, then like, I don't know, I just always found the ally AI in this to be really, really stupid. Now we're outnumbered by a good bit. Oh, fuck. I really can't stand it when missiles just miss like that. Oh. I can't fucking hit anything today. This is just straight up not my day. Stunned is literally so bad. Now hopefully those two missile launchers just stay wherever they are, so that I don't have to worry about them. I'm hoping I can get lucky somehow, but... Oh, okay, thank you. Wasn't what I was hoping for, but I'll take it. yeah, I'll take what I can get. Oh, fuck's sake. Well, I'm definitely going to need to use some items after this. As in next turn. Well, fuck, that was no good. I'm gonna be spending the money after this. Now, if I'm lucky, this should go. But I'm not. I've never gotten ejected 3 turns in a row before. Well, 2. Yeah. This is a mess. Like this is such a shit show. Probably went the best it could have been. Okay, now I've got the attention that 2 missile guys get. Which is no fun. Now let's see. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. That was not it. Believe me, that was not it. Now what I'm hoping for is for the chance to get... well, that works actually. Now since I just have those 2 supplies to worry about, I should be fine just rushing them. Of course, since Kazuki has no shield, there's not really much you can do at the moment. And M's at missiles, so I need to refill those. What I'm doing is having Dennis open up a path to them. Which, yes, while it does let them out, it also lets us in to go after them. No, Emma's still too far to hit anything, but... all is not lost. At least I'm hoping. I mean, there should still be a cutscene after this. Okay. So we do still have a chance at things. And I can have Kazuki checked into the other ones, which I'm actually kind of grateful it's still there. I'm not exactly going to have him be a Wanzer specialist at all, but maybe he'll be able to learn a zoom skill, I don't know. Speaking of which... now if I can get one of these, that would actually be pretty nice. But apparently not. Now this is where it gets tricky. Oh, not really. I don't know why I said that. So I don't think there's a way to save the cargo either. But it is what it is. And guy goes. Kill him there. I think that's the 4th rope he's learned. Could be 5th. But I think it's the 4th. Could always be wrong though. Okay, yeah. He's still alive. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so you're just saying there, Guerrilla is fighting against the OCU. That they've been selling military stuff for profit, essentially. So he said he's going to. So he's going to take us to someone who knows what's a bit on what's going on and could give us some information. Of course, I'm going to take this time to clear up some space that I have because some of these I'm just not going to use as what's the term, as complete launchers, so to speak. Like some of these I'm only going to be using for parts or whatever. Okay, so now that we're all cleared up with that. So Ryder goes, just get an email to give you an idea on how some of the passwords work in the game and stuff like that. And Dennis gets an email from one of his old friends. And gives out some information there and all that. And always there's a little bit of, sometimes there's some teasing here and there with stuff. It's a really nice little upbeat thing to have in, you know? It's sort of like the skits in the Tales games, but not really, and much and much, much more before that. Sybil is one of the people who later on you'll get sort of email chains from. It's really just something to keep in mind. It doesn't really matter that much right now. So you'll notice he said they'll take his truck, which apparently goes through the water on the way to Singapore. But hey. I'm essentially saying it's his hideout, so he's going to just leave the stuff there before they go to the shopping center. Probably going to go through just a little bit more here. And they're just going through a bit of history on Singapore and stuff like that, and how it's going on. And they're going through the difference between hackers and spenders. So this actually brings us to Moneymaker over here. He's actually one of the, I don't know, I think she's one of the more enjoyable characters compared to some of the other ones you can get. Plus just the back and forth she gets into with Ryogo a lot of the time. Always winds up being a little being good for a couple laughs. And just going to talk to some of the other people first. You know, just for the whole basic information and website things. There's no story to say, well, I'll tell you the web address, but then you just instantly get it. So she's just saying, yeah, here's what it'll cost you. And military just triples her price. I was like, fuck it, I'm not paying for that. No. It's just like, damn it, fine. I always love that little line. Can I get a receipt? You know, just in case. Ryogo does actually have a good point too. Go look at some Wanzer stuff. And it goes into another tutorial that I sadly forgot about and thought we were through. So really, I'm just going to skip through this because I've already talked about a lot of these before. But like um, with body, there's defense C, which reduces how much damage you take from a certain kind of attack. With arms, you have the aim or accuracy upgrades, which you'll probably never wind up getting for your right arm, because if that's going to be your shield arm, there's just no point to it. Also for the legs, there's two kinds of upgrades. There's the basic evasion upgrade, which decreases the odds of the enemy hitting you. And there's the boost upgrade, which lets you sort of charge along the ground for a little bit. It's also really good, especially for missile launchers, because it lets them move a lot more than they otherwise would be able to. So what I'm going to do is just go through and see what they got. Now, the 4 is actually has pretty bad aim, but it is something that's worth getting later, but not right at this point. So I'm going to take this to just upgrade everybody's weapons, first and foremost. You got your first look at grenades, but again, they use 12 AP, and you get 12 AP each turn, so I really would just not recommend using them. But what I'm also going to do is equip Emma with a sniper rifle. Just so that either when she doesn't have enough AP to shoot a missile, or when she's out of them, it'll give her something else to use. It also gives we also have the chance at a better shield. Which I'm going to take the opportunity to equip, or not. Let's see. Just going through this a little here. Oops. Didn't mean that. And for the sake of stuff that'll help out. Also should point out having 6 durability on his shield is much nicer than just having 4. You'll also notice again that the melee ones or parts are all the heaviest, or not the heaviest, the lightest with the most HP. What I'm going to do with this is just do a little swap with Kazuki, because he has 5 roof of ones and he doesn't really need that 6th. It's not going to be that important. And let's see. There are also sometimes you can get an upgrade to the computer later on, which we can't right now. And it's always been odd to me that the sniper ones or like the erection would have its left arm skill be a melee one. But that's something for another time. I'll probably do some, I'll do some more just basic upgrades. Also, it's worth pointing out that the accuracy upgrades and so on will take up AP to use properly. Probably going to go through and just sell some stuff for parts. Because you'll find later on you can just get stuff a lot more easily. And I'm just going to go through and sell a couple more things. Just for the sake of it. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to fully upgrade everything. And just to wrap this up here, sorry, I'm going just going on, but like I said, hey, this stuff has to be done. And that's about as good as we're gonna get right now. So, with that taken care of, I think I'm probably going to call it right here since I've gone pretty long with this. So with that being said, I'll see you later, so take it easy.